Have you heard about the drama at Fox Sports? You know, the one where Skip Bayless allegedly offered to pay a hairdresser just a stupid amount of money to have sex with him, and she turned him down. And the part where Joy Taylor was sleeping her way to the top,
Allegedly.
and executives knew about it and were looking the other way. Well, if you had or you hadn't, I'm still going to talk about it regardless. And I've got the complaint right in front of me, what was filed in court. So I don't really have to redact anything. It's all public. If you care to, you can find it with a 30-second Google search and 40 minutes of reading. The complaint comes in two parts. There's actually 14 sub-complaints, but they all fit into these two parts. One's the class action part. This has to do more with wage claims, improper business practices, failure to properly reimburse people. Okay. The second part, that's where the drama's at. The tea, the hot shit. I don't know any slang terms for it. I'm at a loss now. Those are all I've got. And that last one, hot shit, I feel like I made up. But this part, the individual complaints involved sexual battery, three types of hostile work environment, failure to prevent harassment, negligent supervision, retaliation, and wrongful termination. So who's bringing the complaint? Complaint is brought by Noushin Faraji. She is a hairstylist, probably still is a hairstylist, who worked for Fox Sports. And she worked for them for a long time, since 2012 until late 2024. It was quite a long time. And she brought suit against 5 different Fox organizations and 3 individuals at Fox, okay? 1, Skip Bayless. 2, Joy Taylor. And 3, this guy named Charlie Dixon. And we're going to hear a lot about Charlie Dixon. The socials, all the social media, if you get your news from that, you're going to kind of put Skip Bayless to the side. I mean, yeah, he may have did that whole thing, but nobody really cares.
Allegedly.
Joy Taylor's the devil. She should be thrown under the bus. But Charlie Dixon is unnamed. This guy, no one cares about him, but it seems he orchestrated a lot of what went down here.
Allegedly.
So let's get into it. The gist of the complaint is that Fox has a culture that retaliates against people who complain, who rightfully complain, and will find excuses to get rid of them while promoting top talent and powerful people upward.
Allegedly.
It sounds like the treatment that most executives get, to be honest. Like the executives who get found out for sexual misconduct with an underling, it's not that they got found out, it's that they pissed somebody else powerful off while they got found out or after they got found out. And we have 2 more executives who might get rounded up into this. One is Mark Silverman and the other is Eric Shanks. Both are executives at Fox. Mark is the COO of Fox Sports. Eric Shanks is the CEO and executive producer of Fox Sports. We don't know if they're going to be named because we don't know what they know or did not know about this whole situation. And it is quite the situation. The situation starts in 2012, where Noushin Faraji, the one who lodged the complaint, got a job at Fox part-time as a hairstylist. She doesn't cut hair, she just styles it. Very different, okay? Not the same at all. And she gets a little upset because she gets roped into cutting hair. Not a stylist job at all. And while there, she becomes somewhat close with Joy Taylor. You know, you get to know your hairstylist, spend a lot of time together. She's seeing her daily, essentially, and they talk. And one day they end up at lunch together. So we got Joy Taylor, Noushin Faraji, and a third man shows up. This guy later turns out to be Charlie Dixon, who, you know, unknown to Noushin, is a executive at Fox, a very powerful man. And Noushin sees Dixon and Taylor, a little too close. Maybe a glance here and there, a subtle touch of the hand, whatever it was, prompted her to say, "Hey, Joy, you're married." Like after the lunch, not during the lunch, after the lunch. She said, "Hey, you're married. Should you be doing this?" And she kind of gets, she gets blown off. No big deal. Okay. Fun thing, turns out Charlie Dixon also married at this time. His wife was employed by Fox in some capacity. Allegedly, she was employed to keep her mouth shut.
Allegedly.
This happens like early in 2016, late 2015, and rumors start to spread that there's a new show coming out and it's going to be a big deal. got Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp on it, and they need a female host. Despite the name, Shannon's a man. Big dude. Now you know. And they wanted the female host to have a lot of experience, to be like really good at her job. Okay? So they choose Joy Taylor, whose resume is made up of a radio host and bartender and sleeping with Charlie Dixon.
Allegedly.
We later find out from Skip telling Noushin that he didn't want Joy on the show. And Charlie Dixon kind of twisted his arm and said, hey, as a personal favor, can you approve Joy Taylor as the host for your show, co-host for your show? And he does. He's a bro. Around that time, Joy's husband starts to suspect that there's an affair going on. So he starts sleuthing. And he puts on his detective cap and he gets out his magnifying glass and he finds evidence of an affair. So he divorces her. They're done. It's over. After the divorce, the show Undisputed comes out. Pretty good show. Joey's a co-host. Next year, 2017 rolls around and everyone's at a birthday party together, right? Faraji, Bayless, Taylor, Sharp, a bunch of people, right? And Charlie Dixon's there. And Faraji says that he did the lower back touch to the booty grab maneuver. It's not a good maneuver, right? You don't do it if it's not wanted. So she did the classic fake phone call maneuver, right? Now in the history of fake phone calls, not one has ever appeared real. But she dipped out of there, and good on her. Get the fuck out. She was obviously concerned, so she goes to her friend, Joy Taylor, and says, hey, the guy you're sleeping with just groped my butt. And she says, get over it. There's a quote directly from the complaint. Just get over it. The next day, Faraji's still upset, goes to a coworker and says, hey, anonymous coworker, here's what happened. And the anonymous coworker's like, oh, yeah, Charlie Dixon, huge slime ball. He's a disgusting guy. The entire situation sounds believable, and you should probably keep your mouth shut if you want to keep your job.
Allegedly.
That's what she does. Not too much later, Faraji ends up at lunch with another on-screen talent member of Fox, right? And she says, I'm not going to be here much longer because I refuse to sleep with Charlie Dixon to renew my contract. And now you know. Allegedly, Faraji once again contacts her friend Joy Taylor and says, hey, this anonymous on-screen talent said this. Joy Taylor's response is, no one gives a fuck about anonymous. Keep your mouth shut.
Allegedly.
Over time, Faraji's styling Skip Bayless's hair every day and doing touch-ups every day. So they start to get close, or he starts to get close, and she's like not really feeling it. Quite the age gap here. Some people are into that, but not Noushin Faraji. Then in 2017, Faraji gets a back injury and can't work for 40 days. And she comes back, and her hours are severely cut, which is a big no-no. Her back was hurt on the job. So it's workers' comp. When you come back from workers' comp, you're supposed to basically just pick up where you left off if possible. Well, Fox threw a fit over it and had her hours cut, and she went in front of HR. It was a whole big thing, and it took forever. It got drawn out. There was really no great conclusion. So 2018 rolls around. All right, we're 6 months after the back injury, and she's back, and she gets asked to work on another show. So I guess she gets some more hours. Right? It's called The Herd. And this show has 3 hosts, right? One is Skip, one is Joy Taylor, and one's this guy, Callan Cowherd, which by her recollection, pretty great guy. Stand-up dude. No sexual misconduct, none of it.
Allegedly.
And around this time, Joy Taylor's fiance broke up with her. So she's down one husband and one fiance. She's doing great. She's got a job, though. Just for fun, the complaint adds this guy, Bobby Diaz. You can call him Big D if you like. I'm not going to do that because it's stupid. I'm going to call him Mr. Diaz. Mr. Diaz's job was to stick mics onto people. Presumably there was more to it than that. That's all I know at this point. He had a side gig of bringing cocaine to people. Executives and on-screen talent. You know, you got to keep them energized.
Allegedly.
Mr. Diaz and Faraji never get along. He says some terrible things about her. She, in her complaint, doesn't say that she said anything terrible to him. I have no idea. We don't know. It's a one-sided story right now. Fast forward a couple years. Faraji and Taylor sit down for lunch again, and this time another guy comes. His name, Mr. Acho, Emmanuel Acho. And once again, it appears that Joy Taylor was romantically involved with her male guest. And it turns out that Mr. Acho was going to get his own show, and Joy Taylor wanted a piece of that action. And she got it. It took like 18 months. This show is called Speak for Yourself. When Faraji surmised that Taylor was having a relationship with Acho, behind Charlie Dixon's back, she's like, hey, you shouldn't do that. He's a powerful guy. And Taylor says, Mr. Dixon is no longer useful to me because I'm powerful now, and my plan is eventually to tell the company that he forced himself on her. She was going to throw him under the bus much the way she's being thrown under it right now. So you remember when I was saying that Skip started to get like a little close? And they're doing a lot of haircuts, spending a lot of time together. Well, he starts having feelings for her. So he says, hey, Faraji, let's get it on.
Allegedly.
And she's denying it. She's like, no, I got a kid. I got this, that, and the other. You're married. And he says, aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have like 3 or 4 wives? It's just kind of fucked. Later on, Skip apparently once again comes on to her, and she claims to have possibly have cancer. She's going through multiple biopsies to determine if she has cancer. And he's like, oh no, I'm so sad. Would you have sex with me for $1.5 million? And she denies him, which turns him on even more. Later on, Skip accuses Faraji of having an affair with this guy named Shannon Sharp. He's a football player. And we later learn that Charlie Dixon put this notion in his head to try to get Faraji fired. Skip, has a real axe to grind against her for a while. He's hurt, right? He's offered her money. He's offered her old man dong, whatever he has to offer. He's offered it to her. And he's like, oh, I know you're fucking Mr. Sharp. Don't bullshit me. I know you were talking about your vagina. Oh, here we go. Here's the quote. When she denied having sex with Mr. Sharp, he says, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on you. He says, I don't want you to lose your job over this because she's a great hairdresser. And I've been in love with you for 6 years.
Allegedly.
Come 2021, we're 9 years into this whole saga. And she's been doing the hair of Joy Taylor for most of those 9 years. Joy decides that she needs a black hairstylist to do her hair. So Joy's black. Black hair is obviously different. It does take unique skills to get there. The issue is Faraji has those skills. She's been doing it for years. She used to do background dancers' hair for CeeLo Green. She knows what she's doing. This is sort of just out of nowhere. So Fox hires on 2 black hairstylists to appease her. Around 2023, after Joy Taylor got her role on that show Speak with Acho, an executive at Fox goes and asks Faraji, hey, is Taylor sleeping with Acho? And she's like, yeah, Taylor's sleeping with Acho. What are you talking about? Not a big deal. That's just why they're doing it. Nothing really comes of that. Later that month, though, HR starts investigating a complaint against Faraji for humming while cutting hair. So she hums to cut hair because of a PTSD response. And that is a high crime. Can't do that. So they start doing that with her, investigating that, and she pushes back a little. She's like, why are you investigating me humming and not sexual misconduct and allegations of sexual harassment? And I don't think they like that very much.
Allegedly.
In that meeting, the HR person or executive from Fox asks her if Taylor's having a sexual relationship with Charlie Dixon. And Faraji has a bit of a meltdown about it. We don't know if she told them about it or not. It's not said in the complaint, so presumably not. About 4 days later, HR tells 8 of her coworkers, don't talk to her anymore. She's made an HR complaint against you guys. These are all hairstylists. She had not made a complaint against any hairstylists, but HR said something different. And you might ask, why would HR do this? Well, it turns out some people from HR, or at least one person from HR, found their way from HR to on-screen talent by sweeping allegations of sexual misconduct under the rug. Pro move right there.
Allegedly.
Later still, we're out of July, we're into August of 2023, and a Fox executive starts talking with Skip Bayless. And he says, hey, they say, hey, your job is safe. We just want to know if you're sleeping with your hairstylist. And he says, no, I'm not sleeping with my hairstylist. She never offered me sex for anything. Didn't happen, right? Later on, he gets a call from Charlie Dixon. And this call essentially is like, why didn't you lie? I can find you a more attractive hairstylist.
Allegedly.
We don't know why, but Skip ended up telling Faraji about the whole situation, which is how we know about it. So let's fast forward a couple years, okay? Undisputed is coming to an end. It's being canceled, right? Skip's aging out. They need a new show. They need to rebrand, whatever. And they being Fox, tells Faraji, hey, we don't have a spot for you on our next show. We've only got the budget for one hairstylist on that show. So you're out. But what happens is they go 3 months with one hairstylist, then hire two more. So a total of three at this point. And that's part of the complaint is that, hey, Fox will contrive a reason. They'll make something up, a reason to get rid of you. They'll give you an impossible task, or they'll make up some budgetary reason why you got to go if you complain. And Faraji complained. And that sort of brings us to where we're at now, where there's ongoing complaint, and it seems like the only person getting dragged through the mud is Joy Taylor. Now, I don't know her. I don't really care about her. I don't know anything about her. I couldn't pick her out of a lineup before making this video. But it's a little odd to me that they're mad about her and not the executives and other people sleeping their way to the top. And they're not mad at Skip Bayless, really, for allegedly offering money for sex or positions of power for sex. Although I don't know if he offered positions of power. Either way, it's really weird that they just chose Joy Taylor to stick up on the cross and let everyone have their way. Just throw your tomatoes, express your displeasure, all of it. This is just an interesting story I came across, and I thought you might enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Let's do it again.